Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today we are going to be looking at the best armors of the year so far, and we're going to try and rank them 10 to 1. Let me know what's your favorite armor out of these 10, but before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you happen to enjoy this 30-second intro. But as of right now, let's dive in. Oh, and make sure you endorse mod authors because they kind of deserve it. But yeah, let's dive right in. So to begin our list off, we have to start off with number 10. So the first armor up today, and the armor we have at number 10 is Dusk Rogue Armor by Ashtoreth, coming with base support for 3BA, and if you want it, it even has pre-built meshes, so you can already have your body slide set up for you, so when you join in game, your character won't be invisible. This armor is made with 3BA in mind, but it does have patches from other people that'll make it work with B-Hump if you happen to still be using that body. I really don't know the main reason why you would use B-Hump over 3BA, not trying to be biased, but I mean, B-Hump is still a great body on its own, so maybe that's just why you got comfortable with it. This set does require faster HCT because the skirt and the cloak of this armor does feature physics on its own. I don't advise to use them together though, because just simply FPS reasons, but mainly in detail reasons is because they clip. It's kind of hard to have two HCT things on top of each other without any clipping. I don't even think modern games do that. This armor is definitely great for those looking for just a new type of armor for a playstyle, like maybe a rogue type of character because most of us go barbarians. Alright, so on to the 9th spot. Honestly, I probably could interchange this one and number 10 Dusk Rogue, but this one was based on downloads. This mod is called Mercenary Armor by Polygon. I really don't know where the name Polygon came from. I tried to think about it as I was typing this. It kind of sounds like some shape I've never heard of. This armor at base is for UNP, but there is a patch for 3BA, but I mean that's pretty much like every armor on this list. This armor also comes with multiple color variations. I'm just showing the red one because that one is the base one, and in my opinion my favorite looking one. And also, just for those people that's worried about immersion, you can also craft this armor in game with the advanced smithing perk if you happen to have that perk, which 90% of you should, since adding armors to your game mid-game is, I think, safe. I'm gonna say 90% sure here. I don't hear anything bad about adding armors to your game mid-game considering they don't have any scripts, so yeah. Might as well just go and add it anyway. Okay, now moving on to number 8. This one is a fairly new one actually, and one of my favorites, but the next armor up is named Armor Hircine by Chakra SSE. I wanted to place this one higher, but it feels like something is missing from it from making it absolutely beautiful. Maybe a lower skirt part with physics, or maybe a cloak, I'm unsure, but there's definitely something that needs to be here. But as you can see, this one is very dark in look and dark in style. I don't want to say emo because emo isn't dark, it's just they kind of correlate somehow. But at the same time, it kind of still fits Skyrim aesthetic. Or maybe that's just my opinion. But I really do end up enjoying a lot of Chakra's armors. This armor unfortunately doesn't come with any physics on its own or a weapon on its own, but I mean there's nothing really on this that could actually move. All of it looks like it's supposed to be static on your character. Like I said though, unless we add a skirt or a cloak to this, because then that would make this armor a 10 out of 10 and I would probably move it into the top 5 spot. But as of right now, I feel like this number is perfect for it. Oh, and also this armor is very overpowered. It is based around ebony, so you can craft it at in-game once you get the ebony smithing perk. Okay, so at number 7 we have one that I would 100% put higher if it was actually an armor of its own, but this armor is called Savor's Hide Replacer. I mean it does add its own gloves and boots to match the armor, but they seem similar to wolf armor, so I'm not sure if they're new. Which is great, not trying to bash it, but like I said, if this set was a set of its own instead of just a special replacer for Hircine, well, the Savor's Hide, then it would 100% be higher in this list because you guys happen to love this based on the amount of downloads it has. I don't know what it is, but you can just pretty much make anything black that wasn't previously black and I'll instantly add it to my Skyrim. Especially considering I'm just a simple guy, new black armors are always going to gain my favor. Maybe I just only prefer black armors. I mean, that's kind of what people prefer now in Skyrim. I'm surprised I forgot to do a showcase of this armor specifically though, since it is black. But I mean, I'm kinda making up for it since it is here now. The next armor up in the armor we have at number 6 spot is Eastern Brassplate set by Pull Charm, which is actually an armor I've showcased like 3 times now if I include this one. But Pull Charm always kind of strays away from the normal what we call armors in Skyrim, because generally Armors are always just steel and brown or just completely black. Not saying that's bad, especially considering I was just saying how much I love all black armors. But it's generally what I always download, so it's kind of nice to see someone stepping away from the normal and trying new things. And apparently it's worked out for them because they get a lot of downloads on every single armor mod, but this one specifically just stood out to me because it is based on Dwemer, which don't get a lot of love nowadays. But what's also different about this set, like the ones previously, is that it actually features a full set of armor, everything included, even weapons. The shield and the hammer are probably my favorite parts though of this set, because the hammer is small and it does a lot of damage, so it kind of gives me a lot of hope in other areas. Sometimes, size doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna be moving on before I get more depressed than I already am. At the number 5 spot, we have the Dark Witch Armor by Operator Cactus. And this one is also based on downloads. Most of these are biased, but some of these are based on downloads because I can't just cheat armors that are good out of their spot. Plus, considering it literally came out 4 days ago and already happened to have over 10,000 downloads, so it'd be a shame to not have it in the top 5, especially considering I actually like this one. This armor set also requires faster HDT. Well, I'll back it up a little bit. I'll say clothing just so people won't get mad, but the skirt part does move. Someone commented before my previous video saying the physics doesn't respond to the weather, so I assume they mean heavy rain or heavy wind, it won't move with it. But I still like this nonetheless, especially considering it doesn't go overboard with the skimpy. The skirt isn't too short, but there's still a little bit of skimpy element to it to make it feel like it's a modern armor set, clothing set. At the number 4 spot, we got another female only armor. Well, that's a lot of armors actually, but this armor is called the Forgotten Princess armor by Dent. But it was ported to Nexus and Skyrim Special Edition by Daymar, so both of them get credit. This set is very modular, like about 8 pieces in total, well 9 that you switch between the panties, but we won't get into that. So it can be very skimpy if you don't have the full set on. But it does work out all together. The reason I usually have this armor in the Castle Volkihar, because I probably showcased this like 3 times, is because it gives me vampire vibes. And that's kind of what Serana's style is. Well, not her style, but her story. She's technically a forgotten princess. This armor is definitely different from the usual armors that you'll see on Nexus, and the physics on it is the reason I put it at number 4. It could have definitely been higher, to be honest. Or maybe the number 4 spot is perfect for it. Let me know what you guys think. Up next at the number 3 spot, we have an armor I actually use a lot, so maybe it's a bit of bias here. But this armor is called Nord Steelheart armor by Princess Ares, coming in 4K textures with actually 2 variants, of helmet and the armor. Unfortunately though, the boots and the gloves are the same, but either way, they all look good together. This armor does come with the SPID file when you install it. It isn't really optional, but I mean, it's kind of easy to delete. You just have to open it up in File Explorer, but you can find it on certain NPCs at boss level or early game. They will be seen wearing it unless you have open world loot, then you'll probably find pieces of it around everywhere, and then it won't be that special. This armor is the level that I would actually like to keep this to myself because it looks that good. Especially since it's based on steel, so it won't be that good later on, so it's kind of a set I'll find early on and just rock it until I hit Ebony tier. Or Elven if I'm not being picky, because I always skip the Dwarven tier. I think that's a common thing. But I mean, it is kind of a reason why I always use this in my showcases now. The next armor up, and the armor we have at the number 2 spot, is an armor that you can't even find on Nexus. Well, right now you can't. But this armor is called the Shadow Armor by Fuse, coming with the finely tuned HDT armor that can be worn by both sex. If I'm being honest though, a lot of the previous armors would be higher in this list if they were unisex, but some of them are strictly for male or for female. Without patches I mean, because otherwise it's not, but yeah. This armor also comes with a few pieces, which is the main 3, which is the body, boots, and gloves, which is pretty simple, and that's kind of what Fuse does. They don't add 50 items and then need you to equip 12 of them just to see the full set. But they did add different variations of the goggles that you see. I have mine on the head because that's kind of like the default for me, but there is ones that cover the face like you're actually wearing them, and then one where you have it around your neck. I really enjoy this armor, but then again, 9 times out of 10 Fuse mods are going to look amazing. I would say 10 times out of 10, but I hold that 1 for plausible deniability, just in case. And now we got the final armor of today. Up at the top of the list and at our number 1 spot, this armor is called Ysmir armor, coming with the unique heavy armor by Forth Unknown. I just noticed Forth's name on Nexus is Yonder or Yonder the Teeny. Can someone tell me the lore behind that? This armor is a heavy Nordic, but not just regular Nordic, the ancient Nordic theme armor that you can get in game. The only unfortunate part about this armor is that there is no beast race support, and also the fact that it just came out, so there's no HDT patch yet, so there's no physics for the skirt part. I wonder if I should be calling it a skirt. But when it does come out, the HDT patch, it will become my new favorite armor, or at least one of. This isn't just an armor though, it also comes with its own weapon, but that's kind of an optional, it doesn't come inside the mod itself. But also, besides that, if you want, you can also use this mod to replace the steel plate armor in your game, because someone did make a patch for that. Now we just have to wait on the HDT patch, and then I will feel complete. Alright, that was it for today, guys. I know you guys are going to have different opinions on what the top 10 armors are, so let me know what's your top 10 down in the comments, or at least your favorite armor this year. But as of right now, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Peace and love, guys.